Okay, so there we go. We are done with the music and we are back live once again. Unfortunately, Brittany cannot be with us. She's out watching a concert or something. I guess came up on the last minute or misscheduled or something. I don't know. Um, and Shelly is out sick for right now, so we will have them back when we have them back. As aptly noted at one point earlier on, I guess it's another guys' night for the game.
Yeah.
So it's guys' night part D. Can we get somebody to give us a recap of last game?
Briefly, I doubt it. Um, I'll give you one, but I take very detailed notes.
Yes, you
Um,
do.
so, last game started off post us getting off that planet we were stuck on for a while. The group had worried about Drade's interrogation and how he had given up Lord Torinar and Pelagon as our backers. So when we got back, Drade goes to see Torinar and offered to give up his knighthood in order to, you know, try to drive the fallout away from House Pelagia. And Torinar tells him, no, giving up your knighthood would be a very public move. Don't do that. So he didn't do that. Um, let's see. Also, he told us that, God, I didn't have time to find his name, but the interrogator, the guy in charge of that facility, he doesn't appear to have left the planet yet anyway. So that whole problem's on pause. Um, but because of the group talking about, you know, maybe losing our one source of funding, we started talking about starting our own source of funding. What could we do to make money? And Dre discussed it with Torinar, and we came out of that conversation with some offices on a planet. Did I say which planet it's on?
Terrace.
Terrace?
Yep.
All right, so we have an office and one employee already hired for our yet to be started business on Terrace. And she is more or less a civilian. She's no ties to either the Alliance or the Empire. She's just an employee with a technical background. There's a part I was looking for here. So we got Drade gets called back to Torinar after we had been setting up some parts of that, and says that we should go to Telos, to the Telos Polar Integration System. Torinar says there's a strong pull there, but he isn't sure if it's light or dark. Drade questions how Torinar would know about a force pull, and he says, "You are the guy who has no daylight between his cards and his chest." Tells Drade, "You're very slow." What a jerk. So, let's see. We go to Telos. We find our way in, and we get down there, start looking around. Mountain gets a haircut from a red lightsaber, which halves our combat droid. There was almost a fight, but then because nobody had a lightsaber. Turns out that the location is an old Jedi facility. Let's see. The guy, Kane Voss, knows Drade Kenner by name. That was not a happy sound. Apparently, the Jedi who had been there were attempting to study the dark side. I assume he means academically. The head one's the lady who ran the place was headmistress Atris. and they all end up walking around the facility together looking for whatever there is to find. We find a false panel. We find a Sith holocron. When we find the Sith holocron, we get attacked by ghosts. So us non-Force users can't see anything. We just start firing. And then it started blasting.
Started blasting.
Kane Voss tells us he's a genetically created Sith. He says, "Who created you?" And he says, "Dr. Yel Thorin, a brilliant geneticist with an interest in the dark side." So Kane Voss makes off with the holocron.
I think you should probably add that you guys were successful enough in your con check or whatever it was to get him to monologue.
Yeah, monologue.
You got me monologuing.
And so he leaves, and in further investigating, we find the bodies, the frozen bodies of the original Jedi, and Drade picks up a new lightsaber, which kind of looks pretty cool. But I can't, it looks like this. Just picture what cool looks like.
There you go. Yes. The rule of cool.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, there we are.
So it's been about 2 days since that particular task was at hand. Everybody's back on Pelagon at this point. So if you need resupplies, or in this case, fix broken droid, you obviously have time to do so. It's going to to fix your droid. It's going to cost 1,500 credits.
Okay.
Thankfully, it's not super expensive because it's just a basic loader droid that you've got extra stuff put in.
All right, I marked it.
Okay.
At some point, probably soon after getting back, Drade would have gone to Lord Toronar if he was available to at least explain, what they encountered, show him the new lightsaber, and maybe ask if he knows what a purple lightsaber blade means, if that means anything special amongst the Jedi that he knows of.
Ah, yes, that's the Samuel L. Jackson blade.
Oh.
It says "bad mother effer" on the side. Yeah, actually, he indicates that was from his archaeological studies. The Jedi of the Old Republic played with style to an extent. There was they were strict in some areas, but they were loose in others, and that's kind of how some of the aesthetics of their robes came to be, and why they don't quite match up with what the Jedi had for the fall, as well as certain lightsabers and the looks.
Okay, gotcha. So it's a purely aesthetic, doesn't really mean anything beyond that, more or less.
Correct.
Okay. Good to know.
He says he is going to look into somebody who is a genetically modified Sith, because the belief is that the Sith are dead as a race.
Right.
So somebody like that should stand out quite a bit. He's going to put out feelers to see if he can find out more about that. Okay. In the meantime, get used to the saber.
Okay.
If that's you're clearly without one, you might as well go with it for the time being, even though it's probably worth quite a bit as an item in and of itself.
Understandable. I do plan on continuing training with this. It makes sense since I was even called to it, which was strange. Oh, and Jerome, have we found anything out about the body that we took back with us? The previous owner of this saber.
Oh, yeah. There's no record. It's that old. So his assumption at this point is that um, because of all the wars and everything that's happened, some of that probably got scrubbed at some point.
Okay.
You know, by accident or by intent. It's hard to say. But he'll, especially given the Jedi records are down, he's going to see if he can. Um, he's going to check to see if there's any records of that era that might exist that could lead to the identity. He says otherwise, it's probably a safe bet that it may have been like a handmaiden at least
Hmm.
of that particular academy.
Okay.
He says it is distressing though that this Sith made off with a holocron of Exar Kun.
Admittedly, I wasn't sure if we should have actually tried to get that back from him, but given our state at that moment, especially being attacked by the Force wraiths, which I didn't realize was even a thing until then, it seems to be just an unfortunate thing that needed to happen for us to learn more about him and that base itself.
Lost the battle but didn't lose the war.
Exactly.
So I will. I'll keep my eyes obviously out for that as well.
Excellent.
Close that down. Okay. Good. What? Oh, there we go. I was going to say, what the hell? Okay, and I think I wrote it down here. Otherwise, I'll have to look it up elsewhere. I'll have to look it up elsewhere. The individual you guys were looking for from the planet.
Okay.
I'll have to go into the module itself. So I'll find that later so you guys can put that down in your notes if you'd like. But in the meantime, he doesn't have anything for any of you. So if you want to take some downtime or do something personal, by all means, just keep the radio on.
Understood. He bows, takes off, and opens up his comm link. He's like, "Hey guys, all right, so just let Tornor know what we ran into. He's going to put feelers out for things to see what we can determine about, well, Kane Voss and that deceased mummified Jedi. Might not be a whole lot more that can be found, but he's going to see what he can do. In the meantime, we have no current goals, so if you guys need to rest and relax, prep, get things, whatever you need, but let me know so that we can all stay in contact in case we need to come back.
Don't we have an office to go set up?
We could work on that too. If you guys are ready for that, that'll be kind of a jaunt, but nothing we can't handle. If we take the skimming Minoc, that's going to be fastest since it now has the X1 rated hyperdrive.
You hear Montan, hey, T4, how far away is Terrace?
Okay. You know, chirps back. You know, the timing wise. It is also in the outer rim, so it shouldn't be that
It's
long.
just, this universe's version of Siri.
Right.
Right.
Hey, T4. Random question.
So outer rim to outer rim is 48 hours.
Okay.
Based upon the standard jump or the standard hyperdrive.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah. Well, it'll only take a couple of days one way. So if we wanted to just get set up with whatever we need right now and then take off in the next couple of hours, could at least get there and say hi to our new employee, figure out what to do next. Sound good?
Sure. I've got ideas.
Um, the ship is all fueled up, but we should probably bring whatever supplies we need or we can get. Let's see. We haven't been paid in a while either, so I don't know what our current funds are, but insofar as the office space goes, did Bar give you an idea of the resources that are available there, the how established it is, or are we going in with a single desk and a single lamp?
Well, I could ask for some details. I would think that it is furnished at least to a basic level, especially since he's got one employee there right now. But I can double check, or we could just head out. You guys want me to check that first before we take off?
I mean, we're going to find out anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if we need anything, I was figuring we just purchase it on planet and then furnish it there. Not like we're going to take anything from Pelagon there, I would think. So, okay.
I was just trying to think ahead to what we might need to bring.
It's fair. It's fair.
Antibacterial wipes.
If there's nothing else we really need to do, then how about we make our way to the skimming Minnock and then take off?
I am going to run by the droid shop.
Okay.
Because out of character, I finally found the part of the book that tells me about droid locomotion.
There you go. Yep.
Has to do with where Choo Choo go.
So Jerry, I'm going to drop it in the Discord. There's a chart, but that's on 387, page 387 in the main book.
What are you looking for specifically?
Repulsor lifts for T4.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know how many times like his R2 style wheels have gotten him stuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what did it say for cost? Oh, I see. It's a chart.
So I think he's got move 10 now with his wheels. Yeah, he does. Like the standard move rate. So
Okay,
I can afford to.
Yeah, I mean it's still a higher cost rate right now, but it's 4,000 as opposed to 2.
Okay.
I
been saving
know
for a
you've
long
still got
time.
it.
I've got like 24,000 sitting
Yeah.
on my character sheet. So.
I knew one way or the other you'd still have it. Yeah, it's something like that's easy enough to come by. So, yeah, that's not a problem. It's just higher cost because of obviously shipping lanes and whatnot. But otherwise, you're good.
I'm gonna get the I'll get the parts for it and then I can install it on our flight.
Sure. So basically, he's gonna do the R2 thing. So he's just gonna be on wheels and legs most of the time.
Right.
But when he needs to, it's.
Well, I didn't want to give him jets like R2 has, like fire jets.
Yeah, that's no problem.
All right, so I'm going to mark off 4K for that. I'm not even going to bargain. I'm just going to take it.
Okay. Good to know.
Well, I mean, I would bargain. I just didn't want to spend the time.
Sure. So, it's a pretty uneventful trip. You guys are obviously not going in a Gurtok freighter, which necessitates questioning. You're going in a kind of stylish oh, what are they? Mon Calamarian style transport.
Yep.
Which to date, there's not really any sort of awareness out there or pirates that are using that ship commonly in the open. So no real problems there. You have to go through customs to get into Terrace. Terrace at this point is not up to its height before it got destroyed millennia ago at this point. But it's still way better off than where it was at when they were rebuilding back in Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMO. So it's still got several layers of city and whatnot. It's a smaller version of Coruscant at this point. Not quite as vogue. Not quite as dangerously flashy as Nar Shaddaa, but definitely a hub if you can't make it in to larger places. It's equivalent to like if you can't make it into LA for something that you want, then you try to hit up someplace on the outskirts. You're close enough to get most of anything that you need. You know, it's important. Might pay a little higher price, but they'll have it. Landing on your on the docking pad, however, is again not an issue. You can see one of the attractions here at Terrace are swoop bike races. So this is definitely something that people have rebuilt and kind of made it a cultural identity of this particular Outer Rim planet. There are notices about maintaining your maintaining your shot records and being updated as soon as you land. If for some reason you are even so much as a month out of date, which means all of you actually have to get shots. It costs a whopping 15 credits apiece. It's not a huge deal, but immunization's up to date again.
We're going to call that a business expense.
Sure,
Yeah, there you go.
because you're going to file your taxes with the Empire. So, as you well, that'll work. So this is I'm going to drop a visual in the Discord chat when you get there. At any rate, so you come down the elevator. I mean, everything here is, you're kind of used to it, although this is actually a little bit more top-notch than Elrude. You're kind of used to it. There's a corporate presence here. Feels fairly safe. I mean, you can see people who are probably up to no good, but they're not out there openly trying to punk people for their purses or shake them down for something, you know, like you might see on Nar Shaddaa or whatnot. There's clearly a heightened level of security here to an extent that if somebody is clearly up to no good, you really probably didn't watch the signs and made the wrong turn at Albuquerque, sort of thing. Like, so it does have a little bit better of a feel to it. People are actively trying to make this place look like it's worth stopping at, not only as a destination for those who are trying to have a getaway with their family, but also for trade, as well as the exciting races that they have. So, but you get to your office, following the directions on a data pad, and then kind of going and looking at, kind of like what malls used to have. They'd have like that big map of "you are here" sort of thing, but instead it's like illuminated. And Mike just gave you a reroll, Dale.
Nice, thank you.
Just as a heads up.
I'm giving the guy with the lightsaber chances.
Good idea. Thank
Chances
you.
good.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? It's right here.
That's
So,
actually the first reroll I've ever cashed in.
Your office, however, doesn't have a sign. It actually still says like for sale on it. It's not run down or anything. There's clearly no traffic coming in or out. But you can see that there are sockets like right above where the door opens up, so you can add, a nice little holographic sign if you want to, or expand it so it kind of goes over and out, an Arbesh or something, make it a little bit more flashy. You got some options there. And it looks like at one point in time they may have had whoever had it before may have had an overhang that sat out front. Maybe they sold stuff like right out in front of the store or something. That's also an option if you want to turn it into that. Door comes open. There's a desk. You've got a workbench off the side. There's a couple of filing cabinets in here, nicely illuminated. The door opens up, pretty quiet. No squeaks or anything of that nature. And as all three of you come walking in, you see a woman looking similar to that, kind of Space Elfish, which is Arcanian offshoot, if you're familiar with Star Wars. She is currently bent over the workbench right now, and she's looking at whatever it is that she's working on. It's hard not to notice that her pants are a little tight. But she's got like work gear on. It sits a little loose on her, but she's got like a tech belt that's got a couple tools slung onto it. Using like an arc welder and getting certain things into place on whatever it is she's working on.
So then, walking forward a little bit, Drade will then go, Vexa Corin, I presume?
So she quickly like turns up and around, and her goggles actually kind of come off her head a little bit and snap back down like onto the top of her head. And she's like, "Oh, who's it? What? Who are all you? Wait a minute. How'd you know my name? You're not a tax collector, are you? Because we're paid through. I've already been told that."
I'm sure that's right. We have a mutual friend. Might have told you that Sir Drade Kenner was going to come with his crew to arrive. Have you been told?
Okay, so she kind of looks and she says, "You don't look like a knight. You look more like a scruffy-looking nerf herder."
I mean, she's not wrong.
Huh. I'll remember that, Montan. Well, be that as it may, no matter how scruffy looking I look, you are talking to Sir Drade Kenner. We have here Montan and Jarrus.
Okay, so she kind of like looks back and forth. She's like, "Oh, I am so sorry. Oh, can you give me a second to get my boot out of my mouth?" And she like mocks, like she's trying to get her, like stomping down to get her boot out of her mouth, sort of thing. It's like, "I always do this. Oh, I'm terrible with people. Hi, I'm sorry. Yes, I am who you were looking for. I was expecting, I don't know, like, I see rich people on the upper deck all the time. I guess I was just expecting that. I wasn't expecting and the cute little nerf that you've got with you."
He does not hurt me.
and she looks at Montan. She's
I
like,
am my own nerf.
yeah, and she looks at Montan. She says, "Oh no, he doesn't. He absolutely doesn't."
Tall people.
Well, it looks like you've been keeping the place in ship shape. We appreciate that. If you give us a quick tour when you have a moment, let us know what we're looking at and what else we might need to get our operation started.
So she shrugs. She says, "Sure, I could do that right now." Sets the the goggles down and the tool that she was working with on the bench. She just kind of takes her hand like that and follow me.
I want to take a look at what she was working on.
She was actually working on what looked to be like a control panel that had been pulled out of probably transport of some kind.
Okay.
More than likely speeder level. But as most of those are modular, you don't actually have to have it in the ship. You can actually pull it out and
Right.
fix it from there.
Okay.
But she says, I don't know what all you were told about the store, but originally this used to be, from what I understand, they used to sell like parts here. There's still a couple in the back. It's where I got this from. I just thought I'd work on it to burn some time. She said, but she takes you to the back where it says in Arbish, employees only. She says, so here's the storeroom, here's the restroom. She says, here's like circuit breaker and the back for like computers and whoever might need. And then she opens up the last door and she says, and the balcony. She says, we got a decent view.
Yeah, take a look. What do we see from the balcony?
You actually see the rest of Terrace. It sits on the upper level of the mid-range. So,
Okay.
remember when I don't know if you guys remember last game I told you that much like Coruscant, the layers matter as far as like kind of where you're at station wise and whatnot. And the fact that this particular office was just below the upper tiers, decent position.
Okay.
So as far as the balcony is concerned, actually, when you look out, you've actually got a nice view. And she says, this also doubles for delivery, so you don't have to have them come to the front door. There's enough space here if somebody is bringing in like a small package speeder bike, or perhaps even repulsor lift vehicle. She says there's like an anchor too that can latch on temporarily to load in slightly bigger packages if need be. She says otherwise it's got a great view. And she says, and there's enough of an overhang that when it rains, it's not going to come straight down on us.
Huh. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Well, all right. So let's get everyone together here and just get on the same page as far as what we're trying to accomplish with the office, the business, and maybe figure out our first steps to get underway. Montan, have you thought any more about what exactly you'd want to start trying to develop and sell?
Yeah. I think we can make repair droids. I think there's a market for it.
Okay. Repairing what exactly?
Things in space.
Interesting.
I think we could make smaller, like a swarm system of repair droids that could crawl across the outside of ships or stations.
Sounds promising. How much material do you think you need to create a prototype to see if it works?
I mean, I could, depending on the facility. I mean, I can give you, we could rip apart like an old broken starfighter or something. I could probably make a bunch of them if we can shape the metal. I just need raw materials and wiring and control boards and things like that.
Gotcha. So then he turns to Vexa and goes, so based on
She's
that.
raising her hand.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, good. Yeah. What'd you have to say?
Okay. Two things. One might be helpful. One maybe not so much. No, three. One's probably helpful. Two, not so much.
Okay.
One, if you guys are willing to take a trip to the underbelly of Terrace, there's still a bunch of junk down there from when the city was blasted apart millennia ago. And ships that crash landed and whatnot. So there's free junk down there for anybody to claim. Nope, nobody cares about it. It's just kind of risky, which is not so good. Point number one. Number two, I think I know what you're going with for the droid thing. And that's going to be a tough sell, not because it's super handy, but because of separatist tech. So if you're going to do that, I think you might need to find a way to like market around that or not make the parallels.
Okay.
I don't know what that's going to look like, but that's just the kind of first thing that came off my mind. With
I mean, I don't
Empire
either.
breathing with the Empire breathing down everybody's necks. The last thing I think anybody wants is for them to think that some Seps came in here and are, making stuff.
Right. So we'll try to make it not look like separatist droids, which it's not because I'm not a separatist.
Okay.
He'll have T4 like put a hologram of some designs, and it is
Okay.
it is a ball. It has a bunch of pointers in, like, welding torch and grabbers and feet, and like it's a blueprint.
Right.
I mean, we can make it look different. This is just my first idea, and also I didn't know what sort of parts we were going to have to scavenge from. So,
Well, I mean, that's a good thing. There's as much down there as you could possibly want. Just got to watch out for the rat ghouls.
what is that?
Rat ghouls.
She says, well, it's a unfortunate
Whatever
part
it is,
of...
it doesn't sound friendly.
She says, no, no, they're not. Rat ghouls used to be people that got bit or turned somehow by other rat ghouls.
What do they do now?
Many years ago, it was a plague, from what I understand. I'm not very up on my history, but I don't really need to be because people at Terrace are still kind of paranoid about it. Speaking of which, you got your shots when you came in, right?
We did.
Okay, that's why.
Ah.
But I guess what it does is it kind of mutates the people and turns them into like these nasty looking mean creatures, and they just, I guess, live to eat.
Okay. So, danger afoot if we go that route. All right. So we've heard the two options. You said you might have a third?
Oh, that was the SEP stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to want to keep that in mind if that's the case, because with us being in the Outer Rim, if we do anything like that, it's going to draw the attention with the Empire right away.
Makes sense.
Well, we're in need of raw materials, so either we go and these large strapping lads with me potentially fight off whatever they are, rat ghouls, or we fly to a completely different planet and try to scrounge. But
I mean, we can handle ourselves. What's a few rat ghouls between us?
he taps the barely growing back hair on the top of his head.
I mean, I doubt that will happen to you a second time in a row. Unless these
what are
rat
the
ghouls
odds,
are,
right?
Yeah. Might we run into anything else down there, Vexa, or just these rat ghouls?
By the way, I'm giving you a link in the Discord chat, so you kind of know what they look like and read a little bit about them if you'd like. It's mostly out of character, obviously, but there would be some stuff that clearly made it to the historical documents.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But she says, I mean, there's still native wildlife down there too. like Nexu, and other kinds of snakes and whatever have you. So I have to
Okay.
watch for that too. But I would imagine it's kind of like that with any underbelly city.
Sure. Will the scrounge, is it going to be obvious when we get down there, or are we going to have to trek a ways to find some?
I haven't been down there. I know they have a quarantine zone, so I would imagine we could ask before we exited.
Well, well, okay. Well, unless, if anything else, guess no time like the present to see what we can do about it down there. You guys ready?
Sure. Let's get Marco
Well,
and some sort of transport that will
we should.
take all of us.
Well, that and some kind of maybe repulsor sled so that we can ferry back the stuff that we find.
That's what I mean.
Right.
Because I don't think we brought my repulsor lift with us.
Right.
But we could rent one.
We can.
Well, she says, you're in luck. I've got a speeder, so we can use that. And I guess if you want to rent a just a repulsor lift platform, we can attach that to, magnetically to the back and just go from there.
All right. Excellent. Yep. Lead the way. You know the ins and outs of the area better than we do, so we'll take your lead, and then we'll head down to the other underbelly. Get us
Okay.
some scrounge.
So she straps on her blaster again at this point at her hip, and she grabs herself what appears to be like a long stick with a glowy end. And off you guys go. She takes you to where her speeder is parked. And of course, we don't have to role play through it, as well as renting a platform, which for what you're going to need, since you're going to need something heavy duty, it's 500 credits.
And Drade will pay that.
Okay.
Are we going to go like in the vein of adventuring fully armed, or can we not carry here, or do you want to go less fully armed?
Well, if we can get away with it, and if we're going to be running into some nasty creatures down there, I want to be as armed and prepared as possible.
I also would like to be as armed as possible.
So let's see what we can actually get past. Speaking of which, Vexa, again, you're the expert of the area. What type of weapons and armor would be allowed moving around the area?
Oh, you mean the ground floor?
Sure.
All. I think the only thing that they really don't allow is thermal detonators.
Sounds good. All right.
What was her name again? I'm writing it in my notes.
Vexa Corin. I think I have her name written down.
Yep. There you go. Also in the Discord chat.
Nice.
So I will grab my staff from the ship, I guess. If that wouldn't be out of place walking around town.
Walking around town, yes. Heading down to the ground floor of Terrace, if you don't have it, people are going to look at you weird.
Right. Yeah. So we can
Like,
put our stuff.
Someone's walking out as fresh meat.
Because we can like put our stuff in the speeder and then
Mm-hmm.
take it out once we get down to the location.
Yeah, so when you guys have collectively pulled your stuff together, taken the turbo lift, basically back the speeder and take the turbo lift down, they have with like force fields and everything, like they have a quarantine area which is set up very much like very much like a frontier camp. The problem is it's all dark overhead, like no sunlight's coming down this way, and the pressure is kind of a little foreboding, given that you're just this deep down, into the city itself. But they go through the protocols, they double check, make sure that you've got all your shots correctly. They give you the warnings that if you come back injured at all, you will be tested to make sure you don't have the rat cool disease. And in either event, you will be quarantined, or you will be in quarantine for what they say up to 8 hours, depending upon what your vitals look like. So they say if you're going to go out there, it's imperative don't get hurt.
Understood.
Yes, sir.
But an 8-hour quarantine. So any indication of some type of infection happens that quickly?
Yeah, like when you ask that question, like there's an uncomfortable pause and everybody kind of looks at you. And then like one guard in the back just kind of like nods his head solemnly. Like, oh yes.
Okay, they're no joke. All right. Thank you very much, officers. We'll make sure to be careful.
Good luck hunting or whatever it is you're doing.
All right.
So once you
So-
guys pass through, shields come back up on the door. And off you go.
Okay. While we're going, before we go too far, Drade will activate his danger sense. Go ahead and roll that.
Okay.
Montaigne's danger sense is already very active.
Montana
As
activates
is
aw
Jerris's.
hell nah.
So 16. So he's got it least difficult.
Okay, well it is definitely up.
Sweet. All right. Whenever it comes to like needing light or whatever, Drade's gonna look at the two and he's gonna be like, if either of you are having difficulty seeing, I do have a glow rod if we need extra light.
Yeah, at that
I
point,
carry one as well.
at that point, Vexa goes. She's like, and flips the brights on the speeder.
Oh, all right.
Which at this point it's like a 4-wheel that has like the extra light rack, sort of thing. So it's like, even the lighting behind you is actually a little bit brighter because of all the light going forward, just kicking off from this.
Nice. Well then.
She says, "Don't worry about it right now. Obviously, we're gonna have to dim it down when we get outside.
Okay.
But as you guys are going along, you can see that even still down here, there's nasty overgrowth that's like partially dead on the remains of like buildings and ships." As well as and from like more than one era too. It's like the impression that you get, especially from some of the larger chunks of building or whatnot, they're very, very rusted, very decrepit looking. Then you got some that don't look quite as old, or maybe a little bit more protective, from perhaps an era when they were still revitalizing, but stuff still got wrecked out here, broken down, or whatever have you. So it's not an entire graveyard of just junk. It's not like the junk planet you guys went to a while back in season 1 of Darkest Dawn. It's like you could clearly tell that at some point the city was above this, and parts of the city obviously collapsed, and now they have since built back over these parts. So you're looking at like a couple of generations of just broken down building junk and pillars and whatnot, which is obviously you know, for your purposes you could just arc weld them, or not arc weld, but like cut them off using welders if you wanted to do that. But she does point to where you can see not necessarily daylight, but more like moonlight, where it's opening up and it's going out into the wilderness of Terrace.
Do we want to leave the city?
Well, I guess that depends on where the best salvage is going to be. Do you think it's going to be further out into the wilderness, or can we find anything that's closer to the urban area here?
She says, I'm just driving until you guys say stop. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of information or experience with this down below, but from what I from what I understand, at one point in time, the city covered the entire planet. So anything out there in the wilderness is probably just got older junk. I do know from hearing around the the collectors and whatnot, they tend to go out that direction because I guess the junk is older.
Okay.
I guess maybe there was a guy who came through here a while back who was looking for the Endar Spire, and apparently it's out there someplace.
Wow. Well,
I got no other ideas. Let's go.
sounds promising. I agree. Let's head out that way.
Okay. She
Although
says,
we
"At
don't
least it'll
really
be
need to
less
go
muggy."
where the oldest junk is, right? I mean, we're looking for base components. So it doesn't necessarily need to be the oldest base components, correct?
She says, I'm just going where you tell me. But she says, on that same note, if any ships crashed out there, they have sealed systems. So maybe the stuff on the inside's still worth it?
If I could offer a personal preference, I would be on the lookout personally for a relatively intact starfighter that I could work on. Just
Huh.
saying.
A starfighter. Okay.
Yeah, haven't you ever wanted to like rebuild an old ship?
I've stuck with freighters most of my life, really. Like, as far as starfighters go, boy, haven't really had the chance. But let's see. I wonder if I can help us on our quest if we're going to look for a starfighter. And with that, Drade is going to use, let's see here. Yeah, he'll keep danger sense up, and he's going to use direction sense because he can name like a place or an object, but not a person. And if he rolls well enough, he can be guided to it.
Okay.
Let me pull that up here. Direction sense. Okay, now I'll roll. $17. So let's see. The difficulty starts at easy, modified by proximity. So
So what are you looking for?
Like what he described, a relatively intact, usable, scavengeable starfighter that's down here on the ground floor.
Okay. Based on where you're at, what'd you get for a roll?
17.
Oh, nice. Okay. So pretty darn high. That's difficult, right?
Yes.
No. Okay. So you feel led. Unfortunately, it's kind of a. It's, I mean, it's by the force, but in a way, it's because you can't really explain it outside of just giving directions. You're more like uh, Dr. Lazarus from Galaxy Quest, kind of going this way, no, this way,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Like
Right.
you're gauging it. You the force is clearly guiding you in a proper hunch, but given the fact you just had like danger sense up and first time being on this planet, you're like kind of like doing one of these numbers,
Yeah.
almost like a human dowsing rod.
Right. Yeah. He's doing his best to guide Vexa as she's driving us
Okay,
towards the thing.
but you think you've got a good hunch.
Yeah.
As odd as it is. So, Jarrus, yeah, I mean, he just basically kind of gives you a that away sort of thing. As weird as that might be, for the first time being on this planet.
I'm sure he's just guessing and trying to make it look good.
And you know what? Probably. So she kind of shrugs and just goes. And as you guys are going around, it's not as muggy as it was underneath the city, because unfortunately there's just no airflow. It's just like just nasty kind of a funk environment. At least here there's a bit of a breeze, so it's way more tropical out here. But even still, you can still see some remains of like broken, giant pillars that upheld parts of the city, kind of leaning off the side, which is now overgrown with like growth and vines. And the benefit here clearly is that nature has recaptured everything and is just kind of growing off of whatever the remains were. Every once in a while, you'll come by something that stands at an awkward arch, or even to the growth, you'll see that maybe that was a building at one point in time or something, because it still maintains a clearly man-made design shape, but it's obviously completely overgrown. Every so often, you'll come across pipes that kind of jut up from the ground, but they've got so much dirt and overgrowth on it that the only reason you're able to tell is because the moss clings to it enough. There are water pools down here. As you drive by, you do see active wildlife, around. And at this point, you can see that Vexa kind of brings her blaster up, sets it, in her lap. At this point, and as you guys continue along, you end up seeing again another shape. It looks like it's jutting out of the ground. Lot of overgrowth around it. Trees and vines, weeping willow type of coverage that's in this area. So there's going to be wildlife around it. No doubt. It's just a matter of how big.
Can we tell from where we're at, like how tall this thing is right now, jutting out of the ground?
Tall.
Okay.
You can't really tell if it's like support beam for the Ecumenopolis type city, or if it was a fallen building.
Okay.
Kind of hard to say. You don't see enough of it just yet.
Okay.
But you also don't see like any pathways or anything going up to it.
Okay. Then he's like, let's approach that, but be slow. And guys, get your weapons ready just in case.
You think I came down here without my weapons ready? We
Just
don't have a good history of wandering around.
And she says, "You are one overprepared nerf. Let me tell you that." So she says, "Do you need me waiting here? What do you want me to do?"
Well, let's see if we can approach it on the speeder for now. And if we get a better sense of what it is, then we can disembark and then start approach to get a better handle on it.
All right, she says, okay. So she hits the dome, comes over the top at this point, starts getting closer. And she says the onboard scanner is picking up a good bit of metal.
Yay.
And as she's looking at it, she says, I think I see a door. A couple of them, actually. I can't tell if this is like a building that fell over, or and she kind of like looks at it and she says, or if maybe this was like a capital ship or something.
Boy, that could work. A lot more material than a starfighter.
Maybe actual droids inside.
True. Wonder how intact it is on the inside. Okay, well, about how on the scanner does it show about how far we are from it right now?
At this point, you're walking distance. You're not
Okay.
right on top of it, but you're close enough you can hop out and approach.
Got it. Like, all right, let's disembark. Let's see what we've got going on here. See if we can. Are any of those doors that she noticed like at around ground level so we can access them?
Unfortunately, no. You'll have to climb.
Okay. All right. So yeah, let's
But
get
you do have
closer.
vines.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Oh yeah. So does it look like it's overgrown with
Oh, yeah.
stuff?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's why you couldn't tell what exactly it was outside of clearly something large and man-made.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, let's get closer and see what we can do. Find some sort of entry. So then he starts hopping out and walking towards the thing.
Okay.
Let's go.
Sir Drade? Sir?
Yeah.
Am I staying here or am I going with? What do you want me to do?
You know
Probably
what?
come with.
What's that?
Probably come with, or else we're leaving her out here with these rat ghouls.
That's a fair point.
I don't think the rat ghouls are going to steal the speeder.
Yeah. Do these rat ghouls use any weapons or technology, or are they just like feral beasts?
Well, I've never run into any, but there's rumors that some of them have intelligence, but people tend to laugh that off. She kind of says,
Okay.
she says nervously.
Well, let's lock the speeder.
Yeah, exactly. Let's secure the speeder and you come with us.
Oh, okie dokie. And she just kind of, she jumps out real quick, gets her blaster ready. You see that she's taking some extra precautions to cover up so her skin isn't, in direct contact with anything.
I just realized Montan's a small furry creature completely enveloped in armor in a muggy tropical environment. He's going to smell great.
Yep.
when he takes that stuff off.
Yep. And given the fact that he's got a partially bald head, he's going to have swamp head by the time he gets done.
Swamp head.
Wet Nerf. Yep.
Okay. And once all that's
All right,
secured,
let's go.
then we'll approach the thing.
Okay, so you start to approach. If you're going to try and get your way in, you're going to need to climb. If you want to just try to push back some of the growth or cut it away to examine what's here, you could do that too.
Yeah, so let's cut away some growth to see if we can at least gauge what we're looking at here. And before he does that, he turns to Vexa and goes, "So you're going to see me wield something, and we'd appreciate that if you just keep that between us."
She kind of takes it and she says, "This is not the place for a come on."
No. You'll get it in just a second. And he turns back around and goes ahead and takes out his saber and
Saber.
ignites that and starts carefully cutting away the overgrowth, trying to make sure not to hit the actual structure itself.
Okay, she's like, ugh, so stupid. Sorry. And so you start like cutting away, and you end up seeing, so it's clearly, obviously, like a metal hole, lots of rust and just aging all over this. And in fact, some parts of it are kind of, it's still very sturdy. Like you can't just punch your way through it, but there are parts of it, like especially like around the edges, where it's just like crumbling, because it's that corroded and rusted from just exposure to the elements for as long as it's been. But you do end up seeing along the side the remains of this particular logo.
Oh boy.
Is that the same one from our ship, from our friends we met in Bespin?
No.
Okay.
Good question, though.
Have we seen this before?
You have not.
Okay.
If anybody has, I don't think politics is a particular skill, but
Cultures?
cultures, yep.
Don't have it.
I believe Jarrus does. Let's see here.
Yeah,
Okay.
so does Drade. Drade, since we found this
Yes.
thing, he's gonna drop his direction sense and then he'll roll cultures. $12.
And let's see what Matt gets.
Nine.
Oh well. Outside of
knowledge.
some familiarity there, clearly it has kind of like a Jedi looking motif, even though you're positive it's not Jedi. Maybe it was something to the Old Republic. It's clearly not Sith.
Yeah, so Drade's like, I can't quite place it. It just might be a part of the Old Republic. Could be an ancient ship. Does this look familiar to anybody else?
Judging by the vines, I'm going to say they're not going to come looking for it.
No, I'm not familiar with it at all either.
Yeah, Vexa just kind of shrugs. Sorry, boss.
Although now that we're standing next to it, I know you said capital ship scale, but like, is there a shape that can kind of lead us to a conclusion? It's not Star Destroyer shaped. It's not.
Unfortunately, no. You're looking at something that's potentially very, very old, and since it's not a current design, you're still kind of guessworking.
Okay.
It might
Does
make
it give
more
us the
sense.
impression that it like nose dived into the ground and is sticking straight up, or is this a piece of something that's laying on the ground?
Do anybody have tactics?
Yes.
Yes.
I just bought that.
Why don't you give that a roll? The fun has arrived. Abby, pint-sized fun.
Yay.
She is in the chat. A new challenger has arrived.
Bah. 6 with a 1.
How do we use this one?
It's slat. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, yep, got it.
Nice.
17.
And what did Matt get?
I don't have tactics.
Oh, okay.
No.
Abby says, if I was a candy bar, I would be fun-sized. All right. So, Montan, using your tactics, Clearly, it's not like for battle or whatnot. It does look like if this is a capital ship, this was probably either a piece of it broke off and it jackknifed into the ground, or the whole thing crash landed. Very similar to this.
I also have civil engineering, installation engineering, and capital ship repair. What I'd like to do is actually look at the material that we clear out,
Mhm.
and I should be able to tell the difference between like hull plating versus building material, like for a building.
Mhm.
And I have demolitions for that matter. So,
Demolitions is only going to tell you if it's explodey or not.
well, I mean, I
I-
figured dealing with like material strength and stuff,
But yeah.
whatever.
If you want to roll that, go ahead. Starship. Or capital ship, I should say.
Wow. No.
Oh, what?
3 1s and a 4.
Yeah, not just a 1. 3 separate ones, and then a
Man,
4.
when I fail with this dice roller, I really dramatically fail. I never get 1-1. I get many ones.
As Stephen, he would say, the only language you speak is failure. All right, yeah. So you're looking at it, and you went. Ugh. At first, you had a gut instinct. You were about ready to blurt something out, and then you thought, "Wait a minute, no, I don't want to look dumb. Maybe they used something different back whenever this was made." So it's like it's a toss up, unfortunately.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
Oh, and Abby, she's at a show right now. Unfortunately, she got calendar mixed or something. I don't remember what it was specifically, but
All right, well, if it is a ship, it's nose down, I think. So we should, and if it's a building, I don't see a door, so we probably have to climb for either a hatch or a window, whatever we need to find.
If it's nose down, we're going to be climbing through the corridors, room to room.
Yeah.
True. Well, I think we can at least see what we can do. If it proves to be too difficult, we can look for something else, but this might be just a jackpot situation if we can get our way inside and maneuver. So let's see what we can do, everybody. He starts looking for a place to start climbing.
okay. That's not hard at all. Just everybody give me strength checks.
Oh no.
Climbing checks if you have it.
I actually have climb, it's just not any better.
Oh. Montan is an indoor pet.
And at this point, Drade will drop his danger sense so that he can actually use his full dice pool.
Okay.
7.
Oof.
What? That's pretty good for 2 dice.
Yes, it is, because I got it too.
9.
Wow. Okay. I know what to start throwing at you guys at this point. Climbing traps.
You've been defeated by a
Oh,
hole.
actually, I'm sorry. I got 9. I didn't add the +2.
You've been defeated by a vine. What?
No.
You and your stupid rope. So, needless to say, it does take you guys a good bit to start climbing this, because there's a couple like try and fails. You grab a hold of some vines and like they just weren't able to support you. Other ones you start to kind of get up there and you realize that it's the wrong angle, and so you're trying to shuffle around, slipping a little bit. It takes a lot longer than you had originally anticipated. But as you start coming up the side, you start coming up to what you think is almost like a wing, like it curves off to the side. Which means as you've climbed up a little bit, you have something to stand on at this point. You don't have to try and climb across the ropes or the vines.
Okay, much better.
Yeah. Yeah,
Start
so-
looking for a hatch.
Exactly.
And Dre, do you remembering kind of like where you were at and the feeling that you've got, you're able to locate what was probably an escape hatch at one point. You can tell that there's a lot of rust around it, so it may have been blown open and then kind of fused shut or something. But it's going to take some creativity to get past it.
Okay. So from our angle, does it look like it's literally like it can't be opened, or it's going to be like need to be cut open, or
It well depends on how you want to do it.
Okay.
If you're trying to do it fast, cutting it open.
Yeah.
If you're trying to keep it kind of intact, that's going to take some time. But you've got the person with you who could work on it.
right? So then turning to Montan, be like, you think you can rig this so that it'll open? Otherwise, we'll have to do the cut method.
Montan's looking at T4, who is now flying up with him, and being like, man, I should have done one of these for myself.
T4 gives kind of a little chirp and does one of these with its head.
All right, well, let me try it.
Right.
Not that I think we're flying this thing out of here, but all right, well, let me see if I can get past the door. There's probably not a scomp link on the outside, so
There's not, unfortunately.
all right, well, what do you want? Security?
Capital ship repair.
Okay. Matt, take your dice back.
Shoot.
Okay, so here's what ends up happening. Montana's kind of getting at it, getting on one of the wedges. You know, one of the well, I should say wedges, but one of the panels that would have allow it to kind of blow outward, starting to loosen that up. You're actually not trying to like tear it off or blow it off. You're actually trying to get it so it works the way it was supposed to, the way it was intended. And you get to the second one and you're starting to like kind of shake it and start pulling it. And you can see it's starting to like tug, right? Like it's like, and then you hear and things start to slowly get a little lower. And then I need everybody to give me a like a dodge check as the thing comes down.
Oh, good. Okay.
As you can hear like the snapping of vine and root as this thing is starting to like fall completely down to the ground.
Yeah.
The rest of the way.
12. Damn, Dale.
I know. Jeez. Oof. 11.
And Abby asked if Mike needed a reroll.
Yes. Yes, I do. Thank you, Abby.
14 for Jarrus.
Mr.
Obviously, he was standing a little farther away.
Yep, Mr. Non-Combat comes in a pinch. Ah! Something about him said, I was expecting this. So you, at best, you kind of roll a little bit and you grab a hold of what you can grab a hold on as it just fall. Like you can hear the rending of metal, like terribly loud. Birds are flying everywhere at this point. Vines and roots, and then boom. And like the entirety of the jungle within a couple mile radius is just bolting or disturbed.
Not my fault. Do you think anybody heard that?
I think everybody heard that. Maybe in different star systems.
I think Pelagon heard that.
But as everything starts to settle, you see the door
See? Got it.
I'll give it to
On
you.
the
I'll give it to you.
upside, the noise was so loud that nobody will be able to identify it as something that we caused.
Silver lining. I like it.
Hmm.
Okay, well, that was fun. Let's make our way in, see what we can find. So then, heading in there, can we like approach, stick a head in, and look around to see if anything's visible inside?
Yeah, it's totally dark. Obviously, you're gonna need glow sticks and light sources of some kind to see around.
Okay.
The air is stale, very musty. It is very rusted around the rim, obviously where Montan was working to get everything jostled and to a point where you could open it. But up when you get to a certain point, obviously there's aging that's in here because elements have creeped in from other places. But it has more of a feel of. Have you seen the Skeleton Crew?
Yeah.
Well,
I have not.
talking. Okay, you haven't. Okay. So for those of you who have seen it, it seems reasonably intact on the inside. Obviously, there's some wear and tear due to age, elements seeping in, but it's not like a dilapidated house that as soon as you touch something, it's gonna fall apart. Now, there's clearly some jostling that has happened because this part of the ship hit the ground, in a very loud thud. So there's a mess around, and there's a bit of dust in the air because everything got shaken up. But it doesn't look like in this particular part of the ship, most of the elements got in.
All right, I want to see if there's like any sort of console. I want to figure out if there's power.
There is no power.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing you see, there's a console that obviously would have allowed you to open up the door to get it out, and it does nothing.
Is
Mr.
there?
Oren, no,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just forming ideas. I was going to see if there was if there's anything on the inside that would let us get a reference for like maybe what culture it came from, like if we could guess the layout of the ship, or just I guess generally if we know ships. I'm looking for, I want to try to find a repair bay.
Okay. So at this point, give me one thing I don't like about the system because I keep messing it up. It's either search or investigation.
Oh yeah.
Search.
Okay, search. Yeah, so
That's what I have.
Everybody, give me search checks.
18.
Nice.
I think Abby was just teasing me, asking me if I need a reroll.
She may have stepped away from the computer. Okay, so what all we got? Montan's got a
18.
18. Nice.
Drade got a 9, but with a 1 on the wild.
Well, and Jarrus got a 9. So if you add those two together, it makes 18. Just saying.
Looks
Good
like
math.
Abby just
Thank
redeemed.
you, Abby.
Abby just redeemed some points. You got your reroll. All right, so at this point, Jarrus, the smuggler and opportunist that he is looking around. Clearly, right now at this point, for anything he could grab a hold on and just take with anything that looks valuable. Not really finding anything, just kind of rummaging. Drade started off kind of doing the same thing. Walked right into a panel that was dangling down from the front. So he's got a nice sized goose egg right on his head. Just bang! Oh, that of course creates a bit of noise too. And some conduit and wiring kind of fall down a bit, as he does that. So got a little bit of a low hang you're going to have to duck under. Montan, however, especially since he's been working on capital ships and trying to understand them more with the intention of maybe building something out later on, your instincts take you to look for signage. Even if the ship doesn't have power, they should probably have something in here written that lets everybody know, where to go. It's very true on merchant ships. It's especially true on military ships. And if this is a capital ship, it probably is military. And without fail, you end up finding, something. It's a little corroded, but you do end up finding some old signage on the side corner of where you guys are at that indicates that you are in the let's see. I get these two confused. I need to sub.
Forecastle.
You are in the so you are on the port aft. So
Okay.
left side.
Maybe those are the thrusters buried in the ground.
And it wasn't buried in the ground. They're actually up. You're based on what you're looking at, you're really close to the engineering section for the engines in this area.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. Engineering is this way.
Nice. All right, lead the way.
Watch your head.
And at this point, Montan's got the advantage. Doesn't have to worry about overhead panels hitting him.
Montan walks off. The force works in mysterious ways.
So Vexa is just she's got her blaster, out looking around. She flicks a little light on it that, beams around that she can use as a flashlight as well.
Nice.
And as you enter engineering, it's a giant mess. Obviously, it looks like there was a fire back here at one point in time, many, many moons ago. Lots of scoring. It's also got signs of wildlife that has probably come in here at some point in time and chewed on cables, or whatever have you. But yeah.
I don't like that. I was hoping this place had been sealed. He'll show them like the chewed up stuff and be like, apparently it's not as sealed as we would have liked.
Well, okay, now we know, so be extra careful.
Minox get into everything. I mean, it's just a fact of nature.
I'm more worried about these rat ghouls having found their way in.
Well, she's looking around. She says, I'm not seeing any rat ghoul scat, so I think we're okay for now.
Okay, well, good to know that as well.
So I'm going to look for, see if there's any sort of like supply room. Because they would have had to repair droids on the ship as well.
Mm-hmm.
So looking for spare parts, control boards, whatever I can find.
Sure. All right, everybody start giving me searching checks again.
No.
Drade's just kind of he's done being worthwhile on this mission. He's just gonna go in a circle.
Drade's job is to look pretty.
Yeah. At this point, that's all he's good for.
Drade is handling this like Zoolander would probably handle this type of expedition. He's just trying to hit everything with blue steel.
Well, as I understand it, he's blind, right? I mean, it makes sense.
Yes. Why isn't the blind guy finding anything?
Are you kidding me? I am blind. Okay.
All right, 17.
17. What did Jarrus get?
12.
Okay. So you guys are in engineering. They're old, but you are finding some. You are finding some. You have to dig, unfortunately, because it hit and it hit again at this point. So you got to rummage, but you are finding some, while dated, serviceable like backup conduit, piping, some circuit boards, relay boards, or whatever have you. Mike, one of the things you actually do find, interestingly enough, are again they're aged a bit due to the exposure to the elements and just left sitting around, but way better than what you found back on Korad. You actually find T4 parts,
Hey,
which is an indicator of the era this came from.
we're going to gather those too.
I figured you would, yeah. So, Drade, however, is kind of like looking around, a little forlorn that he's bumped his head and just nothing really seems to be going right. And then you end up hearing, "Whoa, what? Whoa!" And like the plating comes out from underneath Drade, as you hear, and then almost as if it was like a body going through ventilation, like that aluminum, as you faintly hear him like go off in the distance. Drade, at this point, you are not straight down. You hit, and you like hit, and you're kind of rolling around, and you're like Dan Aykroyd in Spies Like Us when he hits that snowfall and then he just rolls and he can't do anything to stop himself except curse at that point.
Blast! God! Jeez!
Son of a Yoda! Just
Ah.
and then you finally come out into something. Of course, it is pitch black. You can't see anything aside from emanations of the Force, obviously.
Yeah.
But whatever you hit just before you fall flat on the ground, you actually take a point of damage for this one.
Okay.
But it was almost like you dropped from whatever tunnel that had been made here out of the wreckage. You hit something that was like a wedge, slid off that, and then there was a brief moment of nothing, and poof, that's when you finally stopped and hit very hard metal floor.
Montana will go over to the hole. Why'd you go down there?
I found a painful shortcut. I don't know where I'm at.
I'll take the other way.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, good idea. So he works on getting himself up, dusting himself off, and pulling
Hey,
out his...
boss, do you need me to come down?
I mean, yeah, you might as well. Let me see if I can figure out what even this place is. One sec. Pulls out his glow rod to
Okay.
see if he can find clues as to what the spot is now.
You're actually it's hard to say because again there's just no light in here whatsoever. So it's almost as if the darkness eats up the ambient light that your glow stick is giving off. But thankfully, since you're near something, you're able to see at least enough of that to kind of get a bearing. And you are standing right now, and it's mostly upright. But you're standing right next to what appears to be a starfighter that has one of its wings broken.
Oh, hey Jairus, found your starfighter. Got a broken wing, but here it is.
You broke a wing when you fell?
No. Jeez, I may be a klutz, but anyway, yeah, it's down here. If you guys can find a better way, come on down.
Jerry, can I find do they have any sort of carts, or especially if there's like repulsor lift carts that maybe I can turn one on and carry the stuff with us?
Yeah, the problem is nothing here is going to have power.
Are there spare batteries on the shelves?
Those would be drained at this point.
Yeah.
This has been sitting here for thousands of years.
Yeah, I know.
So
All
at
right.
this point, Vexa like attaches some cable to the side to where you guys are at. She says, "All right, step back, boss. I'm coming down."
Right. He moves out of the way.
Okay, so then you hear whoosh, like sliding down, and then she comes like flying out and almost like nose dives, kind of like what you did, but she holds onto the rope, and so it swings in. She puts her foot up against something at the last second, so she only like, biffs her shoulder a little bit, and sits down. She's like, "Whoa, holy cow!" That last drop's a bit of a doozy, guys. And she like pulls out her blaster and starts shining it around. And she looks at that and she says, "Oh wow, that's a Liberator class starfighter."
Hey, Drade, she went down there way better than you did.
Uh-huh. I can tell, Montan. Hey, how about you come down? Hey, face first is best.
No, I see a sign for the hangar bay. I'm going to go that way.
Oh, fine. Coward. So anyway, while they're making their way closer, then I guess Drade will try to like walk around and see if like there's anything else going on with this fighter other than a broken wing.
No, it looks like what had happened is the wing got broken off because of obviously damage inside the ship.
Okay.
You don't see any other fighters that are down here. You do, as you kind of look around, you could see carts that probably would have serviced additional fighters in this bay, obviously toppled over with some tools spilt out, obviously collecting dirt and their own level of corrosion's a bit. You do see that there is a flight suit down here, very old, and a helmet that obviously went with the pilots of the era. And the flight suit actually has the same logo.
Okay.
So if you had to take a guess, this is probably the Old Republic.
Okay. So yeah, he's looking at that while Vex is there, and he's like, "Yeah, emblems here match what's on the outside. It's really seeming like this is Old Republic era. Man, that's a few millennia at least."
So Vex is looking around. She says, "Well, that was probably a part of the Endar Spire's fleet. They tried to stop the Sith from bombing the planet and end up getting tore up, and this is probably one of the ships that crash landed."
Boy. Well, that does make sense. Hopefully, we find more that's perhaps maybe more intact. If we could get more power in places. Hey, Montan, if you can hear me, if you need power to activate anything, I do have a spare energy cell and a blaster power pack. If you can rig that up somehow.
To power what?
Just about anything you need, I would think. Like if there's any type of computer terminal, it'll give us some information or a map or heck, anything on this starfighter. If we wanted to open it up and see what's still working in there.
I mean, I feel like a blaster pack wouldn't boot the core computer, which is where all the data would be stored.
That's fair.
But let's look around for maybe some data pads. It would power one of those.
There you go. Okay.
I do have on the ship. I do have a high power droid. Miss Corin, do you happen to know if there are any? You said everything down here was or out here was fair game, but do we have the ability to stake a claim?
Yeah, sure. It's just through the licensing office, obviously. It means they're probably going to tax you on everything that comes out, but I mean, yeah, it gives you the legal right to claim it.
Yes, we should claim this whole thing.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, this is obviously undiscovered. If we start pulling a significant amount of salvage out of one location, people are going to start wondering what we found and come looking for it.
And register, if they know who we are, then registering with the license office will point them right to it. I mean, we'll have legal protection, but we should probably, if we do this, post a droid to, make sure nobody else comes in here and starts taking stuff.
One droid is not going to be a security for a capital ship.
Okay, I'm in favor of a bunch of droids, but
I'm just saying. I mean, it's a capital ship. One droid is not going to be able to monitor.
no, I understand that, but maybe we can we can talk to our friends with the facility that makes cheap battle droids, and post like half a dozen of them to walk the halls or something. We can work that out later. I'm just saying it's an idea. Yeah, we want to. If we let's claim it, but let's protect our claim too.
Right.
So, I mean, Vexa is just kind of like looking around and picking up some tools to take with.
Looking for data pads.
Okay. Well, I mean, you would find a few down here, specifically tied to like the flight suit and probably whatever technicians that might have been down here, but likewise, they don't have any power to them.
Can we rig up the blaster energy packs we have or can T4 just plug into them with his own power?
No, it's going to have its own power, but he would be able to plug into it. Yes. It's from his era.
I mean, what I meant was, can he provide the power?
You'd have to rig it.
If only we knew some guy who rigged droids for a living.
Yeah. You mean you didn't build in the cell phone charger, Monte?
Well, we don't have to do this now. I'm just going to grab a bunch of data pads.
Okay, so you managed to pick up 3 from this area. You guys took the elevator to come down.
How?
The elevator shaft.
Oh, okay. It's like, the elevator's working? Cool. I plug them into the elevator. All right, so
So can we pull anything from this fight? Do you think we should then just focus on continuing looking through to see if there's any significant droid part area that we can take advantage of, or should we work on gathering some forces to guard and stake our claim here?
well, there's a couple things. First off, I want a droid powering station back at the office. And if we could take one from here, that would be great. But it's probably too big to carry by hand. I mean, yeah, I would, we found engineering, we found the hangar bay. I'd like to think if there's a droid repair shop, it would be somewhere nearby. I mean, we already found a bunch of T4 parts, so I think that's where they were repairing their droids.
Okay. Well, you're the one developing what we need to create for the business. So, do you think it's worth looking throughout this ship then for anything else?
Jerry, I'm going to have basically, I'm going to take the parts and pieces that we've gathered so far and have T4 analyze them and see if we can sort of Frankenstein together, a prototype droid or two with what we've got. Probably won't look like its final version, but do we have enough,
Frankenmech.
yeah, basically. We need power, we need a control source, we need a core, a droid core. We need servos and stuff, and enough metal to fabricate the body.
So are you trying to recreate something like him? Because if that's the case, yes, because you don't really have to do a whole lot. If you're trying to create something new, like Astromech wise, then you'll probably need to pick up.
I'm not trying. Well, so here's the thing: is the system that Mike was thinking about was that there would be the worker droids, and then there'd be a swarm controller, which would be probably like a small astromech.
Okay.
So yeah, kind of.
So yeah, you definitely have enough here that's serviceable. That would probably you'll have to get like an actual power core from inside Terrace. You won't be able to get anything from here. And as far as like the head unit's concerned, it'll probably be okay, but you're going to need to spend some time scrubbing it physically as well as digitally through coding and whatnot to make sure that it's back up to snuff like T4 is, because this thing has sat here for so long, it depowered, so there's no telling what weirdness could be running through it. But you definitely have enough for at least one. As far as the micro stuff, you're going to need to get you're going to need to take more spare parts just in general, not droid parts, but just salvage from the ship. Thankfully, since they're smaller, you can probably grab like 2 or 3 sheets to service, or paneling or whatnot to service it for most of it, and then try and get use like the conduit and other smaller machined parts that you can find in here to, once you cleaned them up, to start trying to make the smaller ones.
All right. So I guess while we search, what you guys will see like Montan and T4 with the exploded holographic blueprint, and then just pieces are going to turn green, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh, we can use this for that, and some red pieces still like, okay, we'll buy the power core, we'll have to buy the electromagnet or whatever. Like, so yeah, he's putting together as much of a shopping list as he can, and he'll just buy the rest.
I think before we leave, we need to, at the very least, identify what class of ship this is.
Big.
So
Capital.
that we can... the model, if you will, then, so that we can identify its layout. We'll have to do some research in the records.
Right. Okay.
Which that you'll be able to do back in Terrace.
Yeah.
Can we pull like a hard drive computer core from the Starfighter?
I mean, yeah, nothing has power, but yeah, you could pull it.
Well, but yeah, to take it with us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's if we can pull the computer out of this ship, and it should have lots of stuff. It should have identifications of the ships. It should have logs, maybe navigation, all sorts of stuff.
Good idea. All right.
Jerome, is this an auxiliary repair bay that this starfighter is in, or?
Nope. This type of ship didn't have that. I mean, you can tell just by looking around, and the outside hull looks like they only had potentially two bays, and neither were auxiliary.
So there is some kind of access to the outside then, right from this location?
And now that it's laying on the ground, it could actually just be pulled out if you get everything else cleared.
All right. So coming back with like a flatbed speeder of some kind might work to get it out. Okay.
Yep. Anything else?
All right. Well, just basing it off of Montan's directions as far as what scrap is worth taking, we'll grab what we can in this area, I suppose.
I mean, I think we need to keep coming out here. There's a
yeah.
lot more to figure out, but we should probably also figure out a way to provide at least functional power. I mean, I don't think we're going to get that drive started again, but
So Vex
We
is
get the lights on.
like, we can probably bring some power generators out here,
right.
like for speeder types. It should be enough to get some power maybe to remaining lights or something, so we can look around and not be poking around in the dark constantly.
Yeah, that.
Okay. We can do that. All right. So we need to go get power generators. We need to legally stake this claim. And then how do we want to protect our claim? Are we going to be literally buying other droids or hiring people? Any ideas? Or just hope that nobody comes down here? Seems like we're the first ones that have actually gotten out of the ship other than wildlife.
Think we can call our friends and see if we can borrow some battle droids. Those older, or not old Republic, but pre-Empire.
Right. Okay.
Ironically, separatist tech.
Yeah. We'll probably take them time to get that gear out here if we can do that, but we'll probably be here for a few days to get everything set up. That works. Okay, well, let's gather whatever other scraps we can still fit on the sled and then head back topside to start this whole process going.
Okay, well, everybody climb in then. I'll get the speeder fired up, and I guess we'll head back.
All right.
And as you guys come like walking back, she takes a shot like out at the wood line, and you see like the foliage and whatnot kind of shake, and something darts back off.
Oh. Good eye. Didn't even catch that.
She says that was a Nexu. So
Oh.
we'll wanna watch that. Maybe this might be like their hunting ground or something.
Right. Okay then. Okay.
So
All right.
you guys hop in at this point.
Yep.
You head back on into Terrace. The canopy, or I should say the dome on the speeder is actually closed, so you don't really have much of a problem. But you do end up seeing what appeared to be like a spider-like creature, kind of with one sort of like arm appendage thing that kind of came down to like what appeared to be like one single talon. Real super alien looking, like it came out at one point and kind of chased after the speeder, but it wasn't fast enough to keep up.
Yeah.
And just how big was it?
It was speeder sized.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So it was big enough.
So it's a speeder spider. Got it. Okay.
Yes. That's just Terrace.
Or a not so speeder spider. But
Yeah.
But you end up getting back to Terrace proper. You go back through customs. The customs actually tell you where to go to find the to get the licensing and whatnot taken care of. So once you go back upstairs, up the the lift and whatnot, it takes you an additional like 2 hours to get through all of what the paperwork's going to need. And if you have a total of 20,000, they will put basically stake the claim for you, mark it on like known maps or whatnot, but of course, obviously, it's up to you to protect it.
Okay, guys. So first off, 20,000. Do we feel that it's worth it?
We found a starfighter in there. Yes. Just the starfighter's worth 20,000.
Okay. Then do we want to I've got a little over 22 grand, so I could handle it all myself. Or do we want to split it up some way between us?
Well, I think splitting is fair, especially since I want the Starfighter, so I want something from it.
Okay.
But I only have 10,000.
I got 20.
There's the
So
next idiot.
7 each, or 6 in some.
Yeah, so then how about I'll do 7,000, Montan does 7,000, and you pull up 6,000. That should take care of it. Okay. And yeah. Go ahead and put forth the credits then to buy that license.
Okay. And what business is it being licensed under?
Oh, guys, we need a
Yeah.
name for the company.
I wanted to have that conversation earlier, but we kind of rolled past that point.
Well, we can assume that you had that
Yeah.
conversation. What would you guys like to name the company?
Yeah.
And what is it actually listed as? Like
Yeah.
what they do?
Well, I'm guessing what we do is like a droid development and production. We can create our own droids for sale. But what are we going to call it? Any ideas, guys?
I mean, we can name it anything and follow it up with the word industries, and there you go.
What's your business name? Anything Industries.
Very broad.
I know. Yeah.
It depends, I think, on how obscure we want to keep ourselves.
Very obscure. Let's clearly not make it on the nose or anywhere close as far as who we are.
It could be fun to be coy with something off the Void Hounds, but on the other hand,
Yeah. Let's see. Gosh.
How about Genadroid?
Genadroid. Could work. I'm good with that. Easy. Has droid in the name. That's what we do.
Jerry, could we do this between games
What's that?
and come up with the name we're going to put on the company?
Sure.
Like we actually had a 4-day flight to figure it out instead of
Okay.
2 minutes right now.
Sure.
Okay.
That's fine. Let's make sure you tag everybody so that way they see the your comment or discussion, whatever have you,
That's a good point.
so they chime in.
Okay, cool. So we put in that name and that description that we definitely came up with before arriving here.
Well considered name. Industries.
You're right.
The files are in the computer.
And we shall call it this
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, I know. We will call it Our Land. Okay. So with that taken care of, and the nominal fee of $1,500 for the business license itself, name, registry, that sort of thing, because you've already got everything else.
Yeah.
And then you're good to go.
And I'll-
They've got everything taken care of. They've got it assigned specifically to your company. That's where the marker is at. So now it's just up to you to get protection.
Okay, and I'll put forth the 1,500 for the license there too. So that's
Okay.
taken care of.
I would have fire off a message to the scrap bees, see if they can help us out with, a few droids.
Okay. Well, they can. The concern is that most of what they have droid wise is separatist tech.
Yeah, I'll let them know these are, we're not parading these around. They're going into a ship that nobody should be getting into. And they can be returned once we have, our own more modern security.
Okay. They will, they'll have somebody try to sneak in some of those into Terrace, and you'll need to give them let's see. 1 second. 96 hours.
I mean, if they have to come disassemble them, I could reassemble them.
Well,
If that
either way
helps
they
with-
still have to be stuck in because of what they
Right.
are. But yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna go by. I'm gonna find the local droid shop, or have Vexa point me
there's-
or take me to the droid shop.
There's several.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go shopping for power cores, but also I'm trying to, get to know the various droid shop owners.
Okay.
Establish relationships with my community.
Okay. We can obviously take care of that in between games as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
But price wise, go ahead and look up what you're going to need. The last 2 parts for your the droid, the base droid, I should say, and it's going to be ×2.
Man. Hear my kid yelling, but I don't think she's in danger or anything.
Mhm.
Defensive. Hidden storage compartment. Personality, no.
You don't want that.
I mean, there's no particular section for power cores. I think it's just assumed to be part of the whole.
Okay, well let's factor it in that way then. So whatever they have for hull ×2.
They don't have independent hulls. You can look up the price for like fully assembled droids, and then you can look up parts for like additional things to put on them. I mean, I can do this searching it, between games if we need to as well.
Okay.
There's a lot of droid parts to look through.
Okay. So what we'll do here then is this is where we'll go ahead and stop for the evening, because we already got over 2 hours in. So we need to do RP votes real quick. So we're going to start off with Dale.
Gonna go with Montan. Yeah, just VIP with knowing the droid stuff.
All right, Matt.
Oh, I'm having a hard time picking. We didn't have a whole lot of drama or deep role play tonight. I'm actually going to go with Dale for the fall down the ventilation because that was characterful.
Yeah. Okay. Mike.
Yeah, I want to go with Dale, but just because I enjoyed, us like ribbing each other back and forth the whole night.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so Dale, you get 2 additional character points.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, so thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us. We have our next game coming up Friday at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is Mythic Savannah, then Marvel Superheroes on Saturday, and then on May the 4th. Man, we missed that holiday. Or sorry, it's March. March the 4th.
Whoa.
Yeah, we jumped. So March the 4th is actually March the 5th is going to be D&D. Some more Kingdoms of the Shattered Crown. That's going to kick off at 7:30 Mountain Standard Time and 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. So thank you guys all for hanging out with us, and I hope you guys have a good night. Good night, guys.
Good night.